one of our strategies that's going to allow students to use their writing skills to show their knowledge. And $5 summary is really great for helping them to summarize, obviously, by the name there, which is important because, when learning to summarize, we're learning to discern what are the most important ideas, and it teaches students to be more succinct in their writing and really get those central ideas in there in a very meaningful way. This is a really great strategy for doing that. This is the $5 summary, and very simple and easy strategy to implement into the classroom. Can be implemented in a lot of ways on a very daily basis, in the way that it works. And the way that it does work is that you essentially, at the end of a reading or a class discussion or a lesson, you provide the $5 summary. You let the students know that they have $5 to spend. There's a minimum, if you'll notice. They have to spend $2.50. They cannot exceed $5. And of course, a little math there. That's, you got to write more than 25 words, but you can't exceed 50. And so they learn that pretty quickly. I love to make this a competition in my class. Who can write, who can spend the most, but not exceed $5, or you make quality of a statement with what they use. You can do it different ways, but make it fun. They like to have a little competition with it, and a little reward based off of how they write their responses. But that's it. You're giving them a limit, so they have to write at least 25 words, but they can't exceed 50. And then of course they have to take the word count and turn it into a money amount. And so I can give you an example there. Say, did this as an example with another thing that we've done for you guys. So I wanted just use it. But example response. Today's lesson was about the creation of the Julian and Gregorian calendars. The Julian calendar was in use during the Roman Empire and for some time after. However, the calendar lost a day every 130 years. Pope Gregory had an astronomer work on the problem and fixed it by introducing leap year. That's 48 words, so $4.80. I spent more than $2.50, but I didn't exceed $5. And that's essentially what I have students do on the paper, is they have to give me that amount. And this is great. It can be used as an exit slip, where you're using it as a formative assessment tool. You can use it to create discussion. But I do want to, before I get into that different uses too much, I want to quickly go back and notice that these are your free words. Today's lesson was about one key event. Idea was, this was significant because this reminded me of. So these are your free words, meaning they can use those words and it won't count against their count. Everything after those words is beginning the count. So that is something to keep in mind there as well. And we'll talk about that's a tool for differentiation as well. And we'll look at that in just a second. So just procedures and process. Again, it's at the end of the lesson. Give them the exit ticket there, the $5 summary, and just they're going to fill that out. It shouldn't take them more than about 3 minutes to do. You put your timer on, and they should have time to summarize what you're doing. And if it's not right there at the end of the bell and you have little time left with that, you can do some whole class type where you randomly pick out students to get up and kind of read theirs. And then what we like to do is have students jot down, what they missed, just what were some parts that weren't in their summary that were vital parts. And again, by doing that, just jotting it down independently, and they're not saying it out loud, they're not ridiculing, but they're just jotting down independently. They're rethinking, and they can jot that down on their $5 summary. And then when you turn it in, not only do you have their summary, but you have their thoughts of listening, and you're again reaffirming that knowledge that of the lesson or the reading or the discussion that day. And I think that's a really cool tool. So many ways you can use it in your class on a daily basis. Just some real quick um, differentiation tips. Change the amount. You know, make it what you want. If you want to challenge a little bit more and make them write a little bit more, change the amount. Maybe you need to change it the other direction. You can change that. Feel free to do that. This is, again, that autonomy within these strategies. I said make it a competition, but also those free words are a way you can differentiate. Challenge them and start to, when they get to the point, start taking away some of those. And those you'll get, maybe you only get one or two free words and or none, and you got to go with that. But those free words are there to be a prompt to allow them to get their writing going. But as they become better at it, you start to take some of those things away and challenge them. But a great tool to summarize, formative assessment, really, again, revisit and one more time those important concepts of the day. You'll really like it, and it will go well and be an easy implementation into your classroom.